So we welcome you to an episode of VoiceIt podcast, the new black media. We know we've been gone for quite some time, but we are back and locked and loaded. I am Chef Dave, the hottest chef in the world, the neighborhood chef dealer. We have Bo Day.
Bode the body. No, I am Bode. I love Bodacious on Instagram. You can follow me. That's ILUVBODAICOUS.
I love that. I'm Asia. I cannot remember the nickname that I had, but my Instagram is __ Asia with 3 eyes.
And it's your girl Kiera, aka Dope Blondie, aka KG.
AKA Miss Spicy.
Yeah, and I'm Sister Soldier.
So
Bringing you all the conscious news.
So if you missed our icebreaker tonight, the question was, who did you cancel?
Who was the last person you canceled, and have you rocked with them since you've canceled them?
So is that canceling if you rock with them since you...
We're not going to
Is
jump
it?
back into it,
That's
but,
what we
you
talking
know,
about
if y'all
tonight?
want to drop it on the live and let us know who y'all canceled recently and things y'all may have, if y'all still rock with them now.
Yeah,
y'all
who's the
can let
last
us
person
know.
y'all canceled? We need to know. And why?
So to jump into the show tonight, the question we have, what is cancel culture and why does it exist now? Would anybody like to start?
Okay, I'm about to say you know get the talk.
I mean, I don't know, like, for a fact how it started, but I know, cancel culture, all the things happening in Hollywood, Hollyweird these days. Cancel culture is basically just when an artist, celebrity, actor, whoever, someone of status does something that the majority, maybe the majority, doesn't like, doesn't rock with, and they choose to, cancel that person publicly, not rock with that person and not support them, not support their music, their movies, whatever. So, like, for example, Diddy and, some people may be canceling him. Some people cancel him after they realize that Cassie wasn't lying. That's just an example. That's what cancel culture is. Do any of y'all know how it started or who it started with?
You gotta do some
person to
deep.
be canceled.
You gotta do some deep. I do have a question
Cosby.
to what
No.
you were saying. I feel like it was.
Cancel him.
I didn't either.
I never canceled Bill
I didn't
Cosby.
either. I didn't cancel. But I don't feel like it's just limited to celebrities either, y'all.
That's-
I really
that's what
feel
I was
like
about to
because these days now with social media, like if you get on social media, Twitter, TikTok showing your ass, these people will find you, find where you work, your family, whatever, and they will. And I feel like that's the real cancel,
But-
which is unfortunate because these are like
You
know,
cancel
lower
for like your
class,
job,
middle
like
class
you
people.
losing jobs and stuff. But
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask my question, because when you made your answer, I was gonna say, is cancel culture just a high status thing, or can it be a local thing too? Like, can
Well,
the
to
city of
be
Greensboro?
canceled,
Okay,
you
'cause
have
I canceled
to have
Taco
some
Bell.
status to be canceled. Because if I don't know you, like, who are you for me to cancel you anyway? If you ain't nobody of status, nobody cares if you cancel. You just
I think
that's not true.
Relevant.
I feel, but
true.
unless
then
they make you a person of status, like you said, like random people who just got like a little following, they say something out of pocket, and everybody bring attention to what they said, and now they may have lost their job.
Yeah, I have a great example. So it was I don't remember her name, but it was a girl on TikTok. She was a therapist, and so she came to TikTok basically trying to help black men, but I guess she gave it to them a little harsh, and so black men didn't like that. But I also feel like it wasn't just black men. Anyway, it started spreading like wildfire, her message and everything. Like, people didn't like her delivery, and also feeling like she was a therapist that she shouldn't have, I guess, client confidentiality and stuff, even though she didn't really reveal names. But people just didn't like what she had to say. And so they started canceling her. They reported her to her job. She lost her job. And then I feel like she spiraled after that on TikTok.
so quick
but
question.
That's canceling somebody.
Was she therapizing people on TikTok?
No, she was just like, she was sharing.
I think
her
she was
therapy,
bringing
but
it
she
to
was-
TikTok. I'm not too familiar with it, but I think she was bringing it to TikTok, and people didn't
I
like
do
it.
not remember her name. But anyway, that's an example. I mean, it's plenty of examples. Like when that white lady, what she do with that dog in the park?
that's what
It'll
I was
come back.
gonna say. Just piggybacking off of that, I feel like the part of being canceled in general started with people like recording Karens and like being
You
out.
feel like that's where cancel started,
Technically, like I don't want to say started,
right? But that
I will
brought
say,
a lot
like,
of attention to
yeah,
it.
because it was like we have the power in our hands as a community to get these people fired from their jobs, to get them like
Held
hated out-
accountable,
Yeah.
hold people accountable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have been fired from the jobs have held like high positions. So that's why I was like, well, definitely with the phones and stuff like that, being able to record like different quote unquote Karens. Like it was a way to be able to cancel. I don't want to necessarily equate that to cancel culture because I feel like the part with the culture part is where it's like bigger than just regular people.
So I have two questions. The first question is, with cancel culture, do you feel like it's, like you said, holding people accountable, or do you feel like it's people sometimes hating?
I think it's holding people accountable.
You think it's more holding people accountable?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's holding people accountable for things that they do and say because, I mean, you're not really canceling them. People are going to hate regardless, but, I mean, that's not people got haters all the time. Like, I don't feel like that's the big premises of cancel culture. I think cancel culture is not, like, a real thing, but it does hold people accountable for the things that they do and say.
So you don't ever feel like cancel culture came from some type of like more hate than accountable? Because sometimes I feel like people try to cancel just off strength of like they don't like the person or what the person is doing. So it's like, nah, let's try to cancel them.
Then that person
But
is the
big
hater.
people with names, celebrities, they always have haters. You ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
always
So
gonna have
you
a
wouldn't
troll
even be
and a
where you
hater.
are if you ain't have no haters.
But a hater not gonna be enough to.
But by
If
the
you have a large
masses,
group,
yeah.
if
So you
it's
think what happened to the baby was off of hate? I've seen girls that was in love with him in the beginning turn on him after. I think that's holding him accountable for what he said.
I understand.
Even though, I ain't finding.
Because I'm trying to think of an example of like a hater or like somebody that hated somebody so much to where they did get canceled, and I can't think of one where it's like no
More hate than accountable.
Exactly, because like even Trey Songz is technically canceled, but like it's more so about like holding him accountable,
right? True.
versus his haters, because at the end of the day, people technically still like his music.
So has there ever been a situation of the cancel culture that y'all didn't necessarily agree with?
Yeah, I mean, even the baby situation, I personally didn't agree.
Which one? Because
Are you
you
saying
got
like
the one.
examples?
No. I'm not
believe.
asking for a specific example, but
Oh.
you said the baby, but he had a couple situations. The situation with his baby mama, then he had the situation where he was on stage. Which situation?
I'm talking about when like the LGBTQ community came into play, like from what he had said on stage, because he had said something about like.
Yeah, and then they went
yeah.
crazy.
And I didn't really feel like his comment was an attack on LGBTQ, but they took it and ran with it, and then they tried to cancel him. I mean, I personally didn't see it that way. I felt like it was like a call and response. Like,
So again, is that in that situation, are they holding him accountable, or are they sensitive and now it's like, we're going to get you because you said something about us?
Well, the LGBT.
I mean, the LGBTQ
has
community
been
is
known to be
sensitive.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I'm saying,
Don't attack me. Don't cancel
right.
me.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of times it is accountability, but in that situation, is that accountability? Because you said you kind of agree, or you don't see anything wrong with what he said. So,
Well, I think they like they was reaching a little bit. Like, what?
so that could be a case of hate. Like, all right, you talk about us, we trying to get you out of here.
Yeah.
I will say an example for hate would be like, y'all gonna hate me, but Nicki Minaj.
Next.
No, don't play because you're a barb too. I would just say like she has a lot of haters.
Yeah.
So like they try to cancel her based off of them hating.
But Nikki is very like mean girlish though. Like,
Why
she,
to a
would you
degree.
say that?
Yeah.
you said, why would I say that?
Why do you
Just
say that?
from the things that I've seen, I can't remember.
for sticking
like,
up for herself.
No, it's not even sticking up for herself. I just feel like she always come off very.
I feel like when girls
Like-
get to a certain status, she no longer support them no more. Or she like,
Well,
not
it's
they
always
friend.
a
When they
reason.
below her, she rocking with them. But when they get their own thing,
It's
I
always
feel
a
like
And
it's
Nikki, if
always
you ever see
something.
this, please don't cuss me
I
out
like
on
Nikki,
Twitter because I know
but
how
I
she
just-
get.
I do get
I
that.
think
It's
it's a
like, why
narrative
everybody,
that
when they
people
get
run
to a
with.
certain
No, it's not a
status,
narrative,
they got
like-
beef with her all of a sudden. When they didn't have that status, she was cool with them.
Her-
No, there's always a reason.
I just feel like her
it's
responses
always
are
their fault,
always
not
like she
hers.
just
Her
gives off
responses
like
are harsh.
yeah, like
Yeah.
always harsh, and I don't.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't feel like you always have to be like.
But
don't
why
have to
does
go
she
that
owe
hard,
you?
man.
But why does she owe you
Yeah, you do.
anything other than harsh? Like if she wants to go hard, she can go hard. Like she's a rapper. She's that bitch that's been in the industry for 15 plus years. So like, why does she have to
If-
save
if
anybody's
it-
feelings?
I'm not about
I'm
to
not-
stay on Nikki, but what I will say is I relate to her in a lot of ways is because a lot of people, it's not the message, it's the messenger and the delivery. And like, that's, I think, where Nikki has her hate coming from because they don't like how she delivers her message. It comes off nasty or whatever, but did she lie? No.
We haven't
Did
caught
she,
her in one lie yet.
does she have a reason for what she's saying? like 99% of the time.
10 times out of 10.
But we won't linger on that. But I do think that is more hate than holding her accountable.
Okay. So we addressed what cancel culture is. I think the next question is, why is it so heavy now in this day and time?
With everything
Well-
going on, people, it's something coming out every single day that somebody done did something to where, like, I feel when you have certain status, you put a lot. Well, some people put stuff past them, like, no, they ain't do that. Ain't no way.
No, that's real.
And then when it come out, you're like, what? And
Beyonce.
then when stuff keep coming
Let's get into it.
when stuff keep coming out, you're like, what? So, like, cancel right now, everyone's saying Hollywood about to just be like,
But that's, I think, a good thing. That's the part of cancel culture that I feel holding people accountable is a good thing. But are they going to be canceled realistically? No. For example,
he about to be locked up.
I mean, Diddy
He gonna
about
be
to be
naturally-
probably locked up, but he's still, I don't know. I guess it's how you look at it, your perception.
or
Because
what you
I'm
do to
looking at, like,
cancel.
for example, like Kanye West, when he said what he said about, like, you know, Jews or whatever the case
I'm
may
not
be.
going to say who. The Jews.
Can we say
Cancel
that?
my boy.
Beep it out,
Right.
do whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they held him accountable because they could hold him accountable, whatever. But I don't see, like, I guess he took an L, but I really don't see the big L because you're still Kanye West. You're still
Well, that's
mega
one of
rich,
our
you're
questions,
still-
so don't dig too deep.
Oh,
in
okay,
it,
I'm
but
sorry. I
that's-
just, you know, that's the part where it just be like, is it really canceled if you still, like, but
These pockets be taking a hit. Like, they
Oh,
may
no,
not
they
be
for sure
canceled,
do.
But they take a hit and they feel the impact of the cancel culture in the moment where it happens. Like, you got a big ass.
Diddy is
Hold
putting
on,
up
hold on.
$50 million for bail. I don't see if he's feeling
Hold
it.
on,
for real.
because we
never know.
Maybe socially.
we kind of tapping one of our questions for later.
Okay, you're right.
So to
we
get
jumping around, so
to
go ahead.
get back to the original question, why is cancel culture so heavy in today's time now?
I mean, I think it's the season of truth. Like, I feel like it's that time. I feel like every generation, every era has, like, that truth era. And I feel like that's just where we are in life right now. Like,
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
think
know
we're
if it's
trying
like
to
a
give out
big-
passes. I think it's just one
Yeah.
of those times where it's like, nah, you don't get a pass.
What you did in the dark is
Which
yeah,
is
what you do in the dark is always going to
which is important, I feel like, because like you said, people need to be held accountable, and I feel like so many people got away with a lot of things back in the day compared to now. Like, it's TV shows and movies where you may hear a line, you're like, bro, they was wilding, like
They was
Absolutely. We're in a
Having a ball.
generation period of, like, of trying to break generational curses and trying
Right.
to do better than our parents and, like, grandparents and the people before us. Our kids are going to be better than us. So, like, we're at that place now where all of the bullshit that y'all have done in the past and got away with and you hurt people and stuff, I feel like it's, like, time to cut that shit off.
Yeah, because I think we mentioned, like, if Bernie Mac was alive, this era right here might not be in his best.
I know we kind of tapped on it a little bit with the icebreaker, but do y'all have something that was canceled that y'all stand with now currently?
Like, what do you mean?
Like,
something
is
that was-
there a situation or a person that's canceled that you feel like?
that's where you have to define, like, cancel. Like, if you say I canceled this person, does that mean when they song come on at the cookout, I'm like,
I mean,
walking
that's
out
for
the
you to
room
stand
or
on
something?
business. What?
Because my thing is like, so you could cancel somebody, obviously, but, like, say somebody like R. Kelly who has hits for days in your mother's generations and generations, and you go to the cookout, the DJ is playing his shit at the function. So it's like, I don't believe in none of the shit you did. I'm not with you messing with kids or nothing, and I don't rock with you. But when that song come on, am I gonna still two-step to it? I'm at the function. Like, am I gonna just I'm leaving. The song goes off right. Like, but I don't rock with it. I'm not playing it in my car and I'm not listening to it. But if I'm somewhere and you still see me two-stepping and I didn't sit down on it, I still cancel them. But, like, you know, I'm just
I mean, I would
in
say,
my environment right now. That's the moment.
I would say, yeah. I've definitely, like, it feels like a lot of TikTokers that just crossed the line. I block them because I don't want to see
Like,
any of
just
their
doing
content.
silly stuff.
Not specifically silly. Like, if I gave an example, it would be this girl named E. Kane. E. Kane is very known on the TikTok world. Not necessarily like Instagram, but she's very, very known on TikTok. She's, like, super toxic. Her man drags her through the mud, literally. Like,
What is she, like a rapper? Or what
Literally.
does she do?
no, she's a
Abuse?
you would technically call her a wig influencer, but she's really just known for just talking her shit and not caring about nobody's opinion. But she had got on live and she was arguing back with this girl that was so happened to be dark skinned, and she just went crazy with the disrespect. And when I say
About her complexion?
yes, she was like, "You're black. You
This
will never."
this
make
is
it."
on Instagram
This
Live.
is on TikTok Live.
She
Okay.
said you'll never what?
She was like, "You will never make it to the heights I would make it. Like you will never."
Is this
do-"
a black girl talking to another black girl?
Yeah, but she was technically light skinned, and well, I mean, you can call her light brown skin, whatever the case is. But the other girl was dark skinned,
Right.
and so like there was
She
plenty-
went there.
She went there, like when in the
Yeah, I would've
deeps
blocked
of,
her too.
when I say in the depths of her soul, I was like, damn.
So
it
how
came-
did
So
how did the
TikTok respond?
right.
Not just you, but do you
how
know?
did the TikTok world
So-
react to that?
It's funny because it was a lot of dark skinned people that were like, yeah, she's cut, she's cut, she's cut. And then they were waiting for her to give some type of an apology. So she did finally do an apology, but then you had dark skinned girls on there like, I'll forgive you if you give me one of your wigs, or I'll forgive you if you give me a free wig or send me some money, like making it like a joke. And I was like, nah, this bitch is canceled. Like
What's her apology like? Sincere? What did she say?
she had said something on the lines of like I don't feel that.
wig? You bitches are selling your
Right,
souls
I
for
swear to
wigs.
God.
I believe that.
She was like
I believe
she
that.
was like
Trash.
if she was like, I was just arguing with this girl, like I don't feel that way. You know, y'all know I love my black divas. Y'all know at the end of the day, like da 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 da.
How old is she?
Ikane's 24, old enough to know better.
Right.
So I'm like, nah, like that came from that came from the inner soul. Like there's no apology. You like
Dave, your
that
laugh.
was some,
Can we take a moment for Dave's laugh?
that was
She
something-
felt that.
Like she felt that,
Your
and that was
soul.
on live, and she just kept coming with the punches. Cause I seen it. After this, I can show y'all the video of her going in. When I say going in, I
We
was
can
like,
do a reference on.
Why we ain't put that in
on
the story?
We could reference. Yeah, we could do a reference on the Voice It page.
When I say like crazy, I was like, yeah, no, like even like there was light skinned girls that were offended by it too, because they was like, damn, sis, you got this much hate in your heart for like dark skinned girls, like it shouldn't be that deep. But like when I say she, went
Especially
there-
being black, talking to another black woman
Yeah,
is just
exactly.
like we got to do better
Yeah.
with that.
That reminds me of the Erica Mena situation with
Liv
Spike.
just mentioned that.
But I'm gonna say this.
On live.
Yeah, she said.
I'm gonna be honest. Once upon a time, I would say some nasty shit if I was like going at it with somebody,
I can
because it's
see
like,
that.
yeah,
I can see that.
right, easy on me. But it's just like, I think at the time it's like you trying to like go for the jug or whatever the case may be, not realizing like you could be hurting other people around just by hearing like the nasty shit that you're saying. So she's 24. She's maybe got a little growth.
to what
but-
you're saying though, sometimes
But again, holding people accountable, she should be held accountable.
yeah, sometimes people push you to that limit. And not saying that it's okay, but you get so angry that you don't always say
Yeah.
the correct thing.
Yeah, you're trying
Yeah.
to find something to hurt that person's feelings
Right.
when you end up hurting a whole community of
Yeah.
people's
Yeah.
feelings.
See,
I can,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I don't know if that makes me a hypocrite, because I don't know if y'all know who Alex Earl is. She's a white girl, but she
you
dates,
said wire or white?
she's a white girl. Alex
Okay.
Earl. She dates
Alex Earl.
a football player that plays for the Miami Dolphins. But she
Okay.
had tweets back in the day. Well, not tweets, but y'all remember that Axe FM stuff?
Yeah.
She had used the word nigga on there. And she was like 13.
Pin drop.
And people
Mm.
and people
13 though.
Yeah, she was
Go ahead.
13. So people were
know better.
found those. You do know better. They found them and
But
they
that's
posted them.
well. Go ahead.
So I followed her based off of how she like was, not because she was like an influencer or anything like that, but like just because of how she was on TikTok. But like when I say they were the black girls and the white girls were on her head, like, nah, apologize, like, nah, address this, like, cause you want to go about your day, like, say something.
Like nothing
I
happened.
have a question to that.
Did she?
So
She did, but it was 2 apologies actually.
Good.
in the world of cancel culture that we have now, people love to bring up like old remarks and old statements, things like that. So is there ever a cutoff of like, nah, that's too like, bro, he was 5. Do y'all ever feel like some things are just like, nah, bro, that's too old?
So
No.
that's where I like, where is the line between that cancel and accountability? I feel like it's never too old to be held accountable. You should acknowledge, apologize, address. However, like, especially if it's offensive as a slur.
Okay.
know?
And I do agree, but I feel like in the
But
cancel,
forgiveness, that's another, like, on the other end, like, somebody can be held accountable and say they apologize, whatever case may be, but how long are you going to hold it over their damn head? Like,
and
forgiveness.
that's
You
where
gotta move on.
that's where my next question is, because
Certain things are unforgivable.
granted you can be
Right,
held
like calling me a nigga.
you can't be held accountable, but I feel like if somebody pull up something that you did in 7th grade and they're like, oh yeah, you need to apologize for this, you can start losing brand deals because of that in the world that we're in now.
Right. But is that right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, granted, you're being
There's
held
certain
accountable when you gotta apologize, but at the same time, when you start losing things behind, I mean, I'm not justifying it. I'm just asking.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those times when stuff started resurfacing like that, like for example, for that to even come up that she called somebody that, like,
Somebody was
she's
looking.
still at this age where she's saying some certain things where people looking at her like you used the N-word.
See, that's what I'm saying. What if they?
I think people
what
be
if they got a
like-
clean slate? Because you know when people start blowing up, bro, they automatically go trying to start finding old stuff on
Y'all,
Twitter.
because
Like,
I will
it
do
just,
that.
it
No,
happens.
no.
You one of them?
I'm one of these people. Before I support somebody, especially of another race, I will go do some digging in history to make sure that you're not, because I do have a feeling that, you know, there's a hint of racism in all white people. And so
You think all white people are racist?
Yes.
I think it's like embedded in their DNA. And so they really have to work hard to erase and unlearn that racism because it's like embedded in who they are.
Is
I
it
think-
the racism or the stereotype? Like they're just mindset to think certain things, but maybe they're not racist, but maybe they
Racism.
just are aware of the
Well,
stereotypes.
let me-
Black
let me-
people are
let me
aware
say
of other
this.
stereotypes, but we not label racist because we not white and didn't have, you know.
No, I just feel
You get
like
what I'm saying,
being
though?
able to use systems that work for your betterment over other races
Privilege.
and like your privilege. Like,
They're
it's a whole
aware of it and
system
they
and
use it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe it's and some of the times it's unconscious, which is why I said it's embedded.
that's
in
what I
their
was about to
DNA,
say,
But
'cause
that's why I
sometimes-
go do my research before I can support anything
Right.
that you do. So
Yeah.
I am that. So I probably would have been the person that goes typing their name in the N-word to make sure that they didn't say that shit.
'Cause I do feel like there are some situations where white people really don't know that they're being, what's the word I'm looking for?
Racist.
Yeah, racist, or just like
You
they
think they don't know?
sometimes.
sometimes. I
In
feel
some
what you're
cases,
saying.
in some cases, they really don't.
They
Like
don't realize that
it's a dude. It's a dude I was talking to in the store. He was getting a plate, and he was like, "Yeah, my grandma, she told me never eat no chicken off no bone. Like if you eat chicken off the bone, that's low. Like that his grandma taught him that. It wasn't like he just grew up on that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he
What is
was,
she trying to say?
see, that's what I'm saying. When I heard it, I was like, "Yo, that's crazy. Like that's crazy."
My grandma said,
And he was eating one of my plates. He was like, "Bro, this is literally the first time that I ate chicken off the bone. Like, and it's really good." But it was
But
crazy
he
to
wasn't
me
being
that
racist in the moment.
That's
He was
what I'm
just
saying.
expressing to
Yeah,
you.
no,
that's what
he
I'm
was
saying.
being racist. He just was unaware of his racism.
No, he was just
No, I
telling
don't-
him
yeah.
what his grandma said. But
Right.
he ate it off the
But
bone.
his
he wasn't
action.
being racist.
Oh, I guess because he finally ate off the bone. But
Yeah,
he
he
said that
finally
was
ate
his
off the
first
bone.
time. So for
Yeah. He
years,
just saying that's what he was
had
raised.
That's not
embedded
being
racism.
racist.
Listen, he had embedded racism in him. He didn't. It wasn't even aware of it because
Right.
he's grown up in it, was born in it, just unconsciously going through life
But
being.
to say racism, you
bigot.
think he attributed it being low to like knowing that black people eat it off the bone?
I feel like his
You don't
grandmother.
have to
I feel
know.
like
grandmother, but he didn't. That's what I'm saying. So to say in that moment that he's racist, I just feel
So
like
what is racism? So now y'all gonna go. Let me go
Uh-oh.
into the
We are
definition. Y'all.
not.
this has
y'all
turned
gonna
into
pull
a
the
June
whole
19th podcast.
Sister soldier out of her soul.
like listen,
You do
unconscious
not.
bias, but I
But
think
that's
it's wrong to
racism.
say you're being racist in this moment.
So it's
I
like
just-
classism, all of these isms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Racism is that still is like two things can be true. You can be
Mm-hmm.
unaware and you can still be being racist. Like
But like she said, you're not being
wasn't
racist.
in
He's
that
not
moment.
being
he
racist.
Just told him something that his grandmother told
I don't think
him.
he's
He was
being.
just
I mean,
sharing
I understand what you're saying, but I don't.
Negroes like you. I'm gonna open up a hospital with Dr. Umar.
Hold on. So what
Because
was
the fact
that?
that she said it was low, Rachel, being that you know black people eat that shit off the bone, so for his grandmother to tell him like that's low, that's like implying that's what they do.
Right.
That's what black people
Exactly.
do. You don't
And
eat
maybe
the
he didn't
chicken
tell
off the
your
bone like
ass
that.
that, but he
You're
knew.
right.
That's
You're
what-
right.
That's what we're saying.
And he
She's
grown enough
only
to buy
saying
that
that
plate.
he
He's
was
grown
doing
enough
it
to equate it to
unconsciously, but
racism.
we're saying like, yeah, his grandmother definitely was being racist, but not.
He was being
necessarily in
racist
the
as
moment.
well.
I'm
When,
not
when,
saying
when we
that.
talked about it, it was definitely a moment of like, wow,
Clarity.
really, bro? Like, that's great. Like, I almost wanted to know more about his life.
You
Like, what
should've
else?
dug into his
What
ass.
else did she
Liv
teach
said I
you?
was
Or
there, and his grandma was definitely racist.
yeah, like
Thank
it,
you,
it was-
Liv.
Her grandma racist for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. So back to the whole cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
What really determines somebody being canceled? Like, how do you say, like, yeah, they're canceled? Or do
It's
you...
all up to you. Like, she had her reason for canceling that person.
No, I'm saying, like, the actual person that's being canceled, how do they determine, like, yeah, I'm canceled? Or how do we judge and say, like, yeah, that person is canceled? Like, is it because they're losing money? Is it
Oh, I get
because
you.
we don't see them as much? Is it because their career takes a complete flop? Like, what?
I think when your career starts flopping, the checks stop clearing.
The endorsement
That's a
deals.
pretty clear
You
indication
losing
that
some
the
deals.
cancellation is successful. You know, I think that might be.
Definitely tell
You
them
haven't.
something.
You end up in
you
jail.
haven't publicly apologize because you feel the consequences of your actions.
I don't feel like just because you apologize mean that you canceled. You could just genuinely be apologizing.
We're just saying that's the effects. Like when
Oh,
you
okay,
start
okay.
having to do that,
Yeah.
you feeling some effects of cancel culture.
Or maybe
because
they're
you're
really
now publicly
apologizing.
Having to,
Maybe they're really sorry.
Maybe they really are. Okay, let me ask you this. This may be changing the subject, but just this, what you just said made me think of it. So, boom, Shannon Sharp. He really apologized, right? Let me get this off my chest. He really apologized, but somebody was like,
Couldn't wait for this
"If
episode.
you so sorry, why are you selling merch with Nike
Exactly.
Clap on it?" And that's Mama Michelle.
That's
on the
Mama
back.
Michelle.
That's Mama Michelle. Like, so are you in that moment?
That's
like,
a good
are
question.
You really sorry? Because you profiting off of what happened. So where did?
Well, I
feel
think
like-
that's
hold on.
Well, can your wholeness be deleted? Like,
I
can your
feel
cancellation be
like
deleted?
you
Like-
can be sorry, but in the world that we're in now,
You want to make a profit is
everything-
more important.
I'm not saying that a profit is more important, but business is very important these days. So people make business moves. They know when something is viral, this is my moment to...
But in the moment, during his apology,
But at the same time, his
Ocho
apology was
saying,
just...
bruh, you better make this, you better prop. And he was like, nah, because I'm
But
really
the
sorry.
but the thing is,
they
the
really
only
did
thing
it.
that he's apologizing for is the fact that his intimate session got out. It's not like he's apologizing because he did something wrong or he downgraded women or none of that. Like,
Understandable, but
It's just
the
a
apology
situation.
was still out there because that.
Yeah, I
intimate moment
apologize
for him
that y'all-
should've never went private, but now you're profiting off of it.
why not? In that situation, I
In
don't
that
see nothing
moment,
wrong
he
with
said
it.
he wasn't. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like Ocho was trying to push for it, like do this.
Then he sat down and showed some numbers and talked about it, my boy. Yeah, let's do this. Like, in a situation like that, I don't see nothing wrong with
So
it.
you feel
Yeah, I
the
think it's
apology was
levels.
sincere, and I still can make a
Yeah,
profit off
in
it.
that situation,
Well,
yes.
it's a difference between like your apology being sincere and you feeling like some type of bad. I don't think he felt bad. I feel like he maybe have been embarrassed, but I don't think he
Yeah.
really felt like bad about what he was doing because what he was doing was what grown people do.
Yeah,
It
he
just
said
got
that, like
you
he
know
was embarrassed that it got out.
right.
Yeah,
so it's
it-
levels. Now, if he was
I
just
apologize
also
for
asked
it
about
being
being
on
professional.
mainstream. That's all it was. I
Right,
apologize
but,
for mainstream.
however,
seeing
if
this.
he was caught with Michelle molesting her or doing some
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah, and
you
then
know,
did
and
so
then
much-
trying to
yeah,
profit,
that's
that
crazy.
would be like
Okay,
okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if
I
Diddy,
just wanted to
was to
ask.
drop his own line of baby oil, that's crazy.
No Diddy.
That's crazy.
That would be
Call it no Diddy.
Anybody that buy that shit would be
and to
canceled.
be real, he would sell bottles. Like he would really sell bottles.
Yeah, to
Who
pervs,
is buying?
to other pervs?
Are y'all serious?
sick.
If y'all
Other part.
if he was to make
Would you
y'all
buy
don't
a
think
bottle then?
I wouldn't buy
Okay.
bottles. I'm
Okay.
just saying somebody out here would.
That's insane.
Yeah.
For they freak session, they would have a whole
Going
Diddy
crazy.
Yeah, bro.
going crazy.
Diddy oil.
Somebody out here would be going crazy.
I do
That's
not condone that. I do
wild.
not support
Okay,
it.
wait. Before we get, because we gonna get into Diddy. I'm glad you tapped on Shannon, Uncle Shay Shay. But go back to the question so we can wrap that one in.
Oh yeah. So the initial question was, how do we determine that somebody is actually canceled?
Yeah, I still stand by I think when you are in court, about to get locked up. I think when you the check stop clearing. I think when your shit stops selling or people stop buying, the cancellation is working. Now, can you be uncanceled?
See, that's where I stand. I feel like I don't think people get canceled. 'Cause like you said, they try to cancel Kanye all the time. Well, no, people do get canceled. Let me correct that. I just think that it's possible to bounce back.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like
too.
I think
agree
I think that you can literally
We all human
have
at
a
the end of
you
the
can have a moment where people don't like what happened or what you did,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, bro, it's up to you and
It's how
God
you
and your
handle it.
mentality on like, all right, I messed up, but I'm coming back stronger.
Absolutely.
and
But it has to happen.
change.
The
yeah.
cancellation has to happen because you have to be held accountable.
Sometimes people need
Yeah,
that wake
feel
up
it.
call. Like the baby, when that situation happened that you was talking about, he said he
Yeah.
lost millions behind that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he ended up apologizing. And I mean, I don't feel personally like I feel like I get it, maybe because it's the culture or whatever the case may be, but you did offend people. And so you had to be held accountable to that because these are your fans as well, whatever. And so he was held accountable. He was canceled a little bit, but now he's he bouncing back.
So let me ask y'all something. Do y'all feel like there's anything that y'all have ever tweeted or said on social media?
I got canceled at one point.
Matter
Oh
of
God!
fact.
But remember
You got
this.
canceled?
You and Riot. Okay, y'all. Let me tell y'all my story.
What'd I do?
I hope I don't get canceled again.
What I do?
No, I called you and Riot for help because y'all be with the comeback sometimes.
What happened?
So, Gabby Douglas, love her, great Olympian.
I don't remember.
There was a time that I tweeted. I was like, she's a great person. I'm all for her. Like, I support her, but I just wish they did something to her hair. I woke up and my Twitter was
going crazy.
Shambles.
Really?
I called Riot. I called Riot first because I said Riot. Riot is our shit talking friend. She got comebacks for everything, and they was.
So you was
This was in
talking
my
back.
dope blondie era. Everybody thought my hair was a wig. Like, you're a black bitch with a blonde wig. Like, who do you think you are? Like, they was coming for my life. I'm like, first of all, this is my hair. Like,
Okay,
but I'm
jealous hoes.
Yeah, and so I think I called you and Riot.
You mad because your wig nappy.
I
So
was like, I need y'all to go.
so let me ask you something.
But
Since
now
you-
being older, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now being older, I wouldn't say nothing like that.
Right. Go ahead,
still
Dave.
since you did experience somewhat of cancel culture, like how did you feel in that moment, and how long did you sit in that? Like, dang, people really attacking me.
I didn't sit any long. I didn't
Okay.
honestly give
Yeah.
a fuck because I fucked with her. I was just like, y'all
This was
really.
back in
and
the
then
day.
it was
You was
trolls.
enjoying it?
It was people messaging me who didn't even have a profile picture. Like, you got 3 tweets. Your point here is to troll. Like,
Right.
so I was really being petty. Like, I wanted Riot to go and comment to everybody who said.
She just wanted
something,
help with the
something
clapbacks.
Yeah, 'cause
Like,
I'm
so
So
not-
you didn't
I'm not
necessarily
mad
care
at
like
everybody.
that.
No, I didn't give a fuck. I
Okay.
was surprised. I woke up and like people were mentioning me.
Tomorrow you might want to
Right?
get on live and apologize.
No, listen, I was about to say, okay, so we got to break it down. So, like, that's a different era, too. Like, we got to think, like, back in, 2012, 13, 14, like, Twitter was a different time. You could talk your shit.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking shit. It was a good time. Release it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Because if you said that
Some
now,
people was like, let me not put her business out. She might get canceled. But some people was saying stuff about someone about. I'm like, don't do it. Learn from me.
okay,
Don't
don't
make
do
that
it.
public.
But then it also speaks to, and this
Take
is
that
where I want to
down,
hold you
please.
accountable, Kira. It also speaks to, like, why are we on public platforms dissing other black women about their hair?
Talk about it.
Like, you know
Talk
what I'm
about
saying?
it.
So, like, that's why I asked, would you still do that today?
No, absolutely not.
And that goes to earlier. We in a different time period, a different generation where it's like, you got to hold people accountable. We're healing. We're moving past, like, things that are, like, hurtful and shit like that. So
I
I
would
feel...
never do that today. But back then, like you said, you be.
Did you issue an apology?
Yeah, that's what I said. Tomorrow morning, if you free,
Maybe now. Speak to the line.
I apologize. Gabby Douglas, if you ever see this, I was a fan of you then. I am a fan of you now. Where are you, girl? I feel like you should still be competing. Love you.
She said she's
You're
coming
great.
back in 2020.
But I apologize.
She said
for
she's
making
coming
those
back?
Comments about your
It-
hair.
I wonder if she gonna hit the
You
W.
interrupting the apology,
Right, I'm
Dave.
trying to get my apology.
Oh dang, my
off.
bad, my bad. Go ahead.
I apologize, Gabby, if you ever see this.
We'll
for
clip it
making
up,
those
send it to the
comments.
shade room or something.
So before we head into the sipping tea, we're gonna touch on one last thing because Diddy is such a hot topic right now. Do anybody want
Isn't
to?
he the T? Like, I mean,
He is. Does anybody want to jump
He
into there?
canceled? Y'all canceled him?
is Diddy canceled? For me personally, I've always known he was a piece of shit. I feel like. So as far as like, what am I gonna stop listening to his music and like the artist that like that goes deep. I mean, I might
So
stop
he's not.
drinking Ciroc. I might stop drinking DeLeon. But he not even with the companies no more. So I can still drink that, right? Come back to me. I'm still thinking.
Is
Because he ain't been proven guilty yet. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say I canceled Diddy. It's just more. So, I'm just interested to see how. I want to know who all was involved. That's more so where I'm at with
There's
it.
so many layers to it.
Right, like it is. Let's just go ahead into the tea with Asia.
No, Asia, are you? She look like she canceling that nigga for sure.
I don't care. So
Ooh, you don't care about Cassie getting her ass drugged down the.
no, what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about him. So it's like, yeah, I probably will cancel him. Like, it don't bother me none. There's only like 2-4 maybe 6.
So we not wearing Sean John no more.
Never did. So I will say, like, maybe there's a couple of songs where I'm like, dang, that's my shit.
Can't
but
stop,
like,
won't stop. You know,
yeah, you know, a little,
it's hard when that music started playing at the party.
a little hello, good morning.
Hello.
And I said, you know, because Nikki's on it. But regardless, yeah, like I don't care about him enough to stick beside him.
Yeah, fuck no.
Do y'all think that his kids will have a hard time in life forever? Like, do you feel like this will
No.
affect? You don't think so?
They're not forever, no. They just gonna have a hard time.
I don't
And I
think the
think
girls
that's-
gonna have a hard time. Period. If the guys have a hard time, that's because they did some shit too properly.
What do you mean by like? That's what I'm saying.
Like, cause you
Like, a
know,
hard time just
you know, sometimes when
having
like,
a regular life, you mean, or
not
like?
necessarily having a regular life, but you know, like sometimes when you're associated with somebody, when you walk in a room, like people just kind of like,
Oh yeah, I don't feel like they'll ever have like normalcy, be able to be in rooms with like other Hollywood people for real, unless they're on it, like, unless they like know them personally already and stuff. I just feel like it's always gonna be like that cast upon them because of what their dad's done.
So you don't feel like they getting invites and stuff like that? Well, no, they'll probably still get some just off strength from
Probably,
Hollywood.
yeah. They probably because it's not like their doings, but I do think it's gonna
But
look.
it's
a
gonna
lot
be like a
different.
cloud over them, though.
Especially like
Like you said, for the girls, I feel like they
feel
may be
most
okay,
bad
but the
for them.
boys,
But
I think the
them,
boys will
girls
catch a little
and
bit more.
I don't even think Quincy will feel that much of an effect. He's still got acting stuff going on right now, don't he? Ain't he
I don't keep up with the young man.
I haven't seen.
Well, I mean, I don't know if their careers and stuff. I just feel like, you know, when you, like you said, you go into
Just
a
them
room
as
and
a
people are
person,
looking
yeah.
and whispering and doing all that shit, and like, I just feel like it won't be like normal, like how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been easier if they did.
Like, can they even go to school still?
I don't think none of them in school.
Twins, no, I think the twins are in
Well,
school.
except for the girls.
And they have Chance, the twins, Chance, they the same age.
You know, what's really gonna be crazy is that baby. Like
Right.
when she grow up, because she just gonna
Love.
it's gonna be so much information for her to learn about. It's actually crazy.
But getting into, it's so much to take from that. But we'll answer it. Like, do you feel like you're canceling Diddy?
Chat, y'all answer that too. Are y'all canceling
Yeah.
Diddy?
I
To
really
a certain extent.
I think it's just so much.
To
like,
a certain extent, what?
Yeah, like she said, Diddy,
Is
the
this the
things
VoiceIt
he's
live?
touched has gone so deep. Like he got songs that he's
We been
produced,
missing all the
songs that you
comments.
don't even know that he behind. So like I can't just cancel everything he ever put his hands on and had something to do with. But like it ain't even like I got one of his songs downloaded on my phone anyway. But I'm not rocking with you. Like you involved. The allegations against you are way too
Yeah, the allegations are steep.
crazy,
it's like,
and I'm not rocking with.
do you?
Like
I think more the
I
better
don't
question is
think he
like, do you
innocent.
think he should go to jail? That's
Yeah,
more of
I
the better
do.
question.
So say he does go to jail and do his time.
I don't think he's innocent.
Okay, so he goes to jail, do his time, and he comes out and try to just revamp his brand and himself.
He's never getting out of jail if he goes
You
to
don't think
jail.
so?
Do you know the charges?
No, I mean I think it'd be a long time too. I'm just saying if it was to ever,
Yeah, they're
ever
like-
was to get out and try to rebrand, you wouldn't.
Yeah, he's being charged with like sex trafficking.
It's a new
racketeering.
case every day.
At
It's
all.
RICO,
The
like,
sex
it's
trafficking
all
and
type
the
of things.
kid, like no,
Yeah.
anybody involved in anything.
No,
like
not
that, I can't rock
kids.
with you.
It's well,
Nah,
I mean, I'm
I
sure
think-
there's
I thought it was
underage.
something.
Underage.
Yeah, it's some underage people, but it's just like sex trafficking period and like racketeering. So like if he does go to jail, he's pleaded not guilty, but if he does go to jail, he's not likely to be getting out. So I don't see that. But I just feel like it's bigger than Diddy. Like when I
Most definitely.
feel like he's the taking the
Yeah.
fall right now for the bullshit. But like I feel like
He's
it's
the
bigger than
face.
Diddy. Yeah. So that's why it's like, I just want to see how it plays out. Like I want to see who all else
I
Yeah.
say
is gonna like.
yes now because even if it plays out to where like maybe he skates or something, I just feel like I know he's involved at some level, and for that I can't.
What level do you think Diddy is involved
And
in?
like, I hate to say it,
In
so
wrongdoing.
point blank now because he hasn't had his day in court,
Mhm.
but like some of the charges against him, and some of the stories that people have come out and say, and just even things like, okay, to say something without saying something exact. Y'all seen Baby Reindeer?
Yeah.
do you feel like that guy
Sick.
was in the wrong for, even though the guy participated, Baby Reindeer, in entertaining that man for his script, do you feel like the man was in the wrong for the thing, taking advantage of him?
Absolutely.
And I feel like was that
So those
man
who
in
have
real
not
life-
seen Baby Reindeer,
To
it's
put it
on
plainly.
Netflix, right? You could go watch
Yeah.
it. It's really sick if you have a strong stomach, whatever. But long story short, the main character was a victim of sexual assault in the manner of which he was getting drugged. He was trying to get like a script or whatever.
I did see that.
Yeah.
He was
Okay,
promised-
yeah.
And he
Nah,
was
that
working with
yeah.
this guy who promised him,
You feel like that's
fame
the
and
I
all
feel
that
like
shit.
that's it.
Okay, yeah.
And
It
for
does shine
that,
a light on
you-
the
you
situation.
have a
But he
lot
kept
of
going back
people
because
who-
he wanted to be
who
liked. He
want
wanted to be
fame,
accepted. He
who
wanted
want
fame.
a certain goal so
Just
much
like- yeah, I don't know.
that they get taken advantage of
Right.
every day. And some people will say, well, like you said, he kept going back or whatever, but it's still a manipulation so strong over that person, and you dangling something over their head that you know they want. And like,
It turns emotional.
I
and
mean,
some
the
people-
manipulation part
every-
is not the like illegal. Like you are drugging somebody and raping, or like he would
Raping,
wake
no,
up
yeah.
and the guy would be
in his pants.
sodomizing him
Yeah.
or whatever. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy. So yes, I agree. Like when I think of like the Diddy
I
shit
think
and
like
the freak offs and shit like that, I
just
think
them
they
being-
start off like all the willing, like I want to
Yeah,
party,
yeah,
have
a
sex,
good
whatever.
time.
But it gets into a like you're crossing boundaries type shit.
Cause
And
I didn't get to listen to the video yet, but I did see a dude that was just like, let's not act like Diddy didn't make hip hop parties big on a bigger scale.
yeah,
He
like,
said he brought so much recognition to our parties and made them such a popular thing for people to want to go to.
yeah.
So I don't
When
think
we were
that it was
kids, we would hear about the
outright.
white parties, the Ciroc
Yeah,
girls.
so
Ciroc
it
boys,
wasn't
like-
probably all negative. It just some negative things.
No,
started
it was the
happening
after
over-
parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, let's jump into the sipping tea with Asia before we end the show.
Well, hey guys, a part of the sipping tea definitely was dealing with the diddler. So would you guys like to still elaborate on the diddler, or would y'all?
What you
like
have for us?
to-
Yes. What you have for us?
Okay, so as far as Diddy in the scene, we understand that there's a lot going on around his name. A lot of things are pertaining to him killing off people. Of course, the parties, the freak offs, the underage drugging, the domestic violence,
So much.
just literally so much.
Like I said, it's literally something new every day.
It's something new every day. At this point, I want to block whoever is posting about Diddy Live. I'm so damn
But when you
tired.
have 30 years of getting away with shit,
Yeah,
like
it's like a whole lot. And so like I think that definitely does attest to Hollywood and how much you can get away with, especially with being a billionaire. So I think it's one of those things where, do you guys feel like, because he's accused of so much, like clearly he has to be guilty of
Something.
We already
something.
seen him beating.
And we already, absolutely, we already seen him beating Cassie. Like, I mean, and we have no idea what happened before that, that video.
You know he lied and said, I didn't do it.
It
well, I mean, I think all the shit in her, like, because I read the 72 pages.
You read all 72?
Yeah.
You know, Sister Soldier.
And it was egregious. So, I mean, I think when you say I'm not guilty of that, I'm thinking more so of the other shit that was in there, that he's more so like,
Bro, like, I did not take her chocolate bar. She's lying.
And people were actually trying to get on Cassie about the whole situation of like her trying to get money from the thing. And the thing is that I think she knew, because he was going down with so much after she posted with like this whole 72-page lawsuit, that she wasn't going to get much of anything other than money at the time. So that's why they went to court. And I think they settled on $30 million, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is that with how much he's going through right now, she was never going to see that money if she didn't do what she did
right,
right
at that
now.
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it
and
was
then
like-
having to go through all of this and it takes forever. I
Hey,
think she won.
She did. She
She
did
did.
win,
Yeah.
especially with that footage coming out and whatever. Him literally dragging her, like it's like
They didn't have to put that footage out like that.
they didn't.
Nah,
Like they
I-
wanted that footage out just
I
because
feel
of
like-
this court case, so everybody can be like, "He's a monster."
But I
Yeah,
feel like
but I'm
the
just saying.
video was very necessary, because before that video,
But if
people
I'm
was...
Cassie, I don't want to see that shit, and I don't want the public to see that shit.
How do y'all know she didn't like okay it or she wasn't?
No, I think they got the tape in the raids. Yeah, and then they leaked it, in the news and shit.
He definitely, it was definitely one of those things that was leaked in on purpose for sure, without Cassie being technically aware. So hopefully, like, she didn't have to go through so much, like, reliving that situation. True. But yeah, I definitely think he's going down. Hopefully, they don't set bond, whether it's 50 million. 75 million even.
So far, they've been denying it.
Yeah, and I hope they keep doing it.
But, like, is that... See, I go back and forth with that.
You feel like he should get bail?
I don't even know if it's that I feel like he should. I just feel like there's been people that's been accused of the same shit that he has, and they got bail.
Like who?
Like Harvey Weinstein. Is it Weinstein?
Yeah. But I thought he
Island Boy?
Harvey isn't in jail.
He's dead now.
Oh, well then, there we go. So,
when they said he was, Diddy was on suicide watch?
Like,
yeah.
I feel like they was worried about him being flight risk and stuff as well.
I mean, yeah, but it just, it just goes to show, like, you're still always going to be made the example as a black man. And I hate to always bring race into it, but it is. Like, it's just like, there's people that...
We're going to make an example out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, especially, you got, like, Russell Simmons who already done moved to Bali, and you can't get him.
Because he knew it was coming.
Yeah, but
he out. Like, he ain't coming back.
You never know what P. Diddy may have tried to do.
Because he one of them ones, too.
You never know.
14 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
So... would you guys like to stay on the did, or
will we drop whatever tea you want?
Yeah, you
okay.
Nice.
Well, we've been away for so long. There's just so much. But let's go ahead and get into the Super Bowl. So we know that the Super Bowl has asked Kendrick Lamar to be the headliner. Or yes, Jay-Z at this point. My God. No shade, but nonetheless, Kendrick is going to be the face of the halftime show for the Super Bowl. And of course, there's so much controversy with him being the face and them not even trying to like contact Lil Wayne, even though people have been saying like, oh, it's the Super Bowl has been in New Orleans plenty of times and he's never done it before, blah, 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 all these things. So how do you guys feel about Kendrick Lamar hosting, well, not performing, but performing halftime for this next year's Super Bowl?
So me personally, it was just kind of like, dang, it is crazy that they didn't get Lil Wayne, but I'm not like mad, like, why did they pick Kendrick over Wayne? Like, I'm not that deeply invested into it. So
yeah.
I just feel like I saw some videos of Wayne's most recent performances, and I wasn't too pleased with what I saw. But I do hope that with Kendrick having that and everything that he's been getting, I really hope he go crazy for real. Like, I like underdogs.
He's gonna go crazy.
Like, he's not an underdog to me, but just in situations where everybody talking down and talking against you, like, I really hope he get out there and people like, yo, this nigga went crazy. Like, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go crazy. I think that
I wouldn't be surprised if he.
I mean, because he's a performer. Like, that's his vibe. I feel like it's gonna be an amazing show. And we don't know what he's gonna bring that needs to be on that stage too, because we know he's a conscious guy, and like, so I'm hoping that's what it's gonna be. I think with the beef and everything, it kind of like made this bigger than what it was. Because who the fuck told people that Wayne was gonna be an option for real? Like, I feel like when Jay-Z goes in the boardroom, because I know people think Jay-Z, like, and I think one of the guys came out and was like, Jay-Z, he picks the halftime performer. And I'm sure he does. But I'm sure he talks to his bosses, because he got a boss in the NFL. Right. He don't run that shit, right? Or, like, the people or whatever. And I'm feeling like, do you think they put Lil Wayne on the table, or did Black America put Lil Wayne on the table?
So, because you say that, when I was having a conversation with somebody, I said, it's also business. With everything that's going on, Kendrick makes the most sense for real, because people are going to tune in based off of everything that's been going on. Why wouldn't we want to watch the controversy of what's been going on? Business-wise, it makes the most sense. But outside of the beef, if the beef wasn't going on, do y'all think Kendrick would have been the person that they chose?
Outside of the beef, he would.
No. I mean, the beef has a lot to do with it. I know he has a project that's supposed to be coming out, so maybe. I got into a debate about this. I'm not going to say who, but they were saying Taylor Swift would have been the number one choice, right?
You gotta cut that out, man.
And of course, Taylor Swift would have been a great choice because of who she's dating and all of that. Of course, the media been following her, whatever.
Boy,
And-
it would have.
But
Taylor
I'm
Swift
also
would've been
like-
all over the man.
But they were ridiculing, Jay-Z being the reason because he's chosen his side in the beef, and him and Drake got whatever they got going on and shit. But like you said, I do think it's more so business.
It's definitely business.
And you have to accept a Super Bowl performance invitation. I'm like, maybe Taylor Swift didn't want to perform. Maybe she knows because her name is all like, the buzz around it. Maybe she didn't want to. Like, you just really don't know. But I can probably put some money on it that Wayne wasn't an option of artists that they were considering.
You said that he wasn't.
I don't think he was.
I don't think that it was completely off the table. I just think it was more of a business decision. Like somebody probably said, well, we are in New Orleans. What about Wayne? And some people are like, all right, yes, we do have Wayne on the table, but look at how many views we can like numbers played a big part.
I would have loved to see Wayne personally, but
I think I get it, but I think it's like, okay, cool. If Kendrick didn't have this beef with Drake, will we be seeing Kendrick on the stage for Super Bowl?
With that, no.
Okay, so when does this?
y'all don't think Kendrick would have ever gotten an invite? Maybe not this
I'm
year.
not. I'm not saying ever.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
not
don't think
saying ever.
this year he would have been the one that they
Yeah, I'm
chose.
definitely-
Without that beef, he wouldn't have been that one.
Definitely not thinking like that. But I will say, like, I don't ever associate the Super Bowl with trying to go with somebody that's trending currently. Like when Bruno Mars and Beyonce was doing their thing along with who was it? Colt.
Beyonce's always trending, baby.
But that's what I'm
And
saying.
and I agree with that. I just think this moment was so big that business
they had
wise,
to
like
capitalize off of
yes,
it just
like-
because of one beef.
it's
He gets the
business.
Super
Like,
Bowl.
bro, you got to realize how big that, like, Not Like Us was getting played everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm so mad we wasn't live when this beef was going on because we would have been up there with Joe Budden and them.
I get it, but like I just never associated the NFL or the Super Bowl with a trending situation because at the end of the day, like there can be a favorite team, and they don't always go to the damn Super Bowl. So it was like, why would we associate halftime? Even when they got Rihanna, like Rihanna wasn't even coming out with shit, but she still got a whole performance. Usher,
So quick
That whole
question.
thing,
Quick
exactly.
question.
And that's-
So
yeah, that was
what if they
the
come out and be
relationship.
like, the beef had nothing to do with why we picked Kendrick?
It would be bullshit.
it would
probably.
be absolute bullshit.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm saying like
nothing is
you
wild. Like-
you just said that you don't associate the Super Bowl with trendy. So what if they they really like, bro?
But who will
What-
believe it? That's the question. Like
That's
they
what
could,
I'm just-
they could come out and say it
Say a
all
lot
they
of shit.
fucking want, but who's gonna believe it? I'm not gonna believe that shit. I've been
Okay.
thinking that.
But I do think to give, I guess, credit to the person I was having this debate with is like, obviously you can tell they do pick the Super Bowl performance based on relationships. Like, because like you said, Rihanna ain't had an album. Girl, sis, where's the camera? Where's the album? Like, in forever. And, she performed pregnant and all. And so, I mean,
the only thing I could go back to would be Usher, because he came.
Usher
off
has a relationship with Jay-Z.
and then he either had a residency at the time or he had just came off.
When
his
was
residency.
He came off his residency.
Okay, yeah.
When was Usher?
Last,
last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was last year.
Okay.
That was a great show. Moving on.
Okay. So the whole what's his name?
Last
Yeah,
year.
he was last year.
I'm sorry, this year. 2024.
He was up there.
No, that was the
skating.
year before. No,
No,
yeah.
Usher was last year.
no, yeah. Oh, she said Dr. Dre.
Oh
Was Dr. Dre this shit too?
no, that was the year
It's
before
not two
last.
Super Bowls in a year.
Because that was in L.A.
He had his own. He was the.
Yeah,
okay.
and that's what they were saying. Like, it would be
I feel
New
like
Orleans.
yesterday.
Wayne would probably bring out YMCMB, and it would have been amazing.
They would have
and
been
it would
haters.
have
They would have been
amazing.
mad. It would have been great.
It would've
but
been
they would have been
great.
upset about it. Oh my god! They
But
would've
I
ate
do
the
think
stage up.
Kendrick's gonna have a great show too. So I don't really have no dog in this fight.
Ooh, I do. Well, I'll let you finish your tea, then I have another question
Sip, sip,
about
sip.
cancel culture before we end.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all already seen the headlines, but David Haney, is that his name?
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, yes.
Okay.
Man, he weak. He is weak.
Well, let me
Not
get
now,
my
Dave.
question out. Let me finish. So, okay, so we know that Ryan Garcia, he actually took PED, which is performance enhancement drugs.
Allegedly. Oh well, I guess
He got
it was in his
tested
fee,
and
but I
it was
still
there.
believe him.
Fuck out here. So he took those drugs, won the fight, and now Devin is trying to technically
Sue
sue him for I don't know how much, but he's basically trying to sue him for that whole situation about the L and everything like
I
that.
don't think he was set up.
So some of the people in the
Think who was set up?
comments.
Ryan Garcia, he was talking about the kids and how they was
Oh,
sex trafficking the kids.
yeah,
And
like-
every time they talk
Yeah,
about they
yeah.
ruin them.
I do feel
You
like
you aren't the person to usually take the other person's side that's not black, but I would like to hear you because
know.
you are Sister Soul.
I just feel like, I don't know. I was kind of feeling what he was saying. I was like trying to follow what he was saying.
he was speaking the truth.
And I think he was speaking some truth. And then I think now they were trying to ruin him because he's like, he goes against the grain.
Okay, I understand him going against the grain, but let's just go back to being the technical part, because if he did take PED, the question is that if you lost to someone that took PED, and yes, you took the L, but you know that they took a performance enhancement drug, what is your next step? You just take the L because it's just, okay, y'all fight, we just take the L? Or do you feel like it's one of those things where let me fight the situation?
I saw people in the comments saying,
So he don't want to fight him again. He just wants to fight him in court.
Yeah.
yeah. I saw people saying
why
if it was the
fight
other
him
way
again?
around, they would do the same thing. So he's
Yeah.
not wrong.
I don't think he's wrong. I mean, you
Me
don't wanna
personally,
fight
I
him
just,
again?
it's like, bro, but if you saw the fight, bro, he was just getting whooped.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another question, because do you guys feel like with him taking PED, do you feel like it's the sport itself is where it's like, nah, I mean, you kind of
See, I don't know where it really
versus
helped him.
if someone took PED and they like technically, like, let's say we was running track and someone took steroids, that significantly can help you
Run fast.
run faster
Right.
and do better than
So
someone
maybe
that-
it made his punches harder.
So
or
is
something.
that
Made him
what
stronger?
we're associating? Is that
It
what
could
we're
be a lot of
associating with?
things.
I mean, like I said, I don't know in what area it helped him, but from watching that match, Devin was just getting whooped. in that
Whooped
ring.
on.
Yeah, like bro was just whooping him.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, that's why I feel
So
like
you
just
feel
take
he
your
would've been
L.
whooped regardless.
Yeah,
I
bro,
don't-
like just take your L, bro.
I
You
don't-
was getting whooped.
I
Even if he
don't think
wasn't on
take your L.
PED.
I think if you really feel like you lost because he was on performance enhancing drugs, then refight him.
Well,
but
I
maybe
think
he
they
don't wanna
suspended
fight
him.
him.
Test clean.
They suspended him for
Oh,
like
okay,
a
okay,
year or
okay.
abandoned him or
Okay.
something.
Well, I mean, a year is not that long.
Suspended
You got to get
Garcia?
ready for the
Well,
fight.
I don't know if
anyway.
it's a year or if it's like.
You gotta get
how
ready
long
for
it
the
is.
fight
They-
anyway. But long story short, I mean, I think as a boxer, you would think you would want to rematch. But if he cannot do that, then I mean, there's nothing wrong with suing him because the other party would do the same.
I absolutely see. There's a soul that I was looking for. All right,
She
guys.
veered off a little bit.
As far as sipping tea, there is so much more I can get into, but we are winding down, and Dave has a question for us. So, what would you like to ask?
Because we talked about the beef, did y'all ever consider Drake canceled?
Never.
Because they were saying, you know, he was a pedo.
Never. It really pisses me off because I feel like throughout the whole beef, people made me like a Drake dick rider, and I ain't a Drake dick rider. I'm objective, okay? I feel. And so I feel like he did not really lose in this situation. Like, but
You don't feel like he lost what? The beef or the battle?
I mean, like the battle, whatever, maybe, whatever. But I just feel like he didn't lose in this situation. Like people try to make it seem like he was canceled and like his career is over. And it's just like, are you dumb? This is Drake.
Right.
Like y'all forget, like people forget, and it pisses me off. Like this is like the soundtrack to our whole like from fucking high school to fucking now. Like you can always go to a Drake album and relive like a time period in your life. So like.
I don't think he was
Stop the fake
canceled,
shit.
and I'm a huge Drake fan. Anybody that know me knows that. I just think for one of the first time in a long time, the human like Aubrey actually kind of
Got
felt,
beat.
yeah, like it was one time where he was like, dang, like. the
Like
world-
you went to a party
it's
and your
been-
friend was like,
it's-
"Don't play this song."
it's been a
because
long
it's gonna hurt
time
his
since, like,
feelings."
Drake
Good
had-
friend.
It,
I would
like,
expect y'all to do the same.
It's a good friend, but
Granted-
at that moment, yeah, you lost, bro.
Granted, he has always had haters like, oh, he's singing too much stuff like that. But this was one time where people was like really like Drake was a laughing stock at one point, and I feel like that may have
I
hit
never
him.
laughed at him. I
always felt like Drake has always been corny. Like, but this is not a part of what we love about Drake. Like the corniness, the fact that he let women like kind of run over him.
Yeah,
Like,
and a lot of people probably feel like
He
that. But what I'm
cried.
saying is like this was a time where people was like, aha, Drake, aha. Like it's been a long time since I feel like he's had
Yeah.
a moment like that.
yeah, yeah.
So I feel like just as
But do you think it was because it was more than one person, or do you think it was just Kendrick? Because some part
No,
of me feels
I
like
think it was
all
just-
of y'all waited for Kendrick to come out and got behind this little nigga like, yeah.
I think it was
Like,
more so just
but-
the fact that it was.
I got a
the-
question though.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, so to piggyback on what you said, like, you know, he the soundtrack of our life. But like, say, for instance, one day he did go to trial for being a pedophile, and then it was proven that he was.
That'd be interesting.
It would be very interesting.
Could he still be canceled then, even though he liked the
Yes.
soundtrack? You would cancel him at that point?
I don't play about kids.
Okay.
Absolutely, he would be fucking canceled.
I think there definitely comes a time where you have to draw that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
But we're not just gonna cancel you because Kendrick says.
Right, because Kendrick was allegedly beating his wife.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'll cancel your ass for that too. I love Kendrick too. Like, I love Kendrick. So
Are there any last remarks before we wrap it up tonight?
I'm glad to be back, y'all.
Tuning in.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're gonna drop here and there. We're not putting out a
No schedule. No schedule.
It's not every Tuesday,
But
guys.
we won't go.
Every
We
Tuesday.
won't go ghost like we
No.
just did. We
not gonna leave y'all hanging. But thanks for tuning in.
It definitely does feel good to be back.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody that has tuned in tonight. We appreciate all of the followers that have commented on the live tonight.
And send us what y'all want to talk about.
For
Send us
sure.
advice,
Yes,
Three-way
engage.
will be back.
Yes,
Send us
three-way.
letters.
we know y'all missed three-way. Three-way. We'll
We'll
be
be
back
back
in the
next
building.
time, for sure.
Answer them calls, them problems. Tell us your tea.
Yes, and we're in a different setup, so now you guys can actually call in.
Oh
and
yeah,
give
yeah,
us
y'all
a-
definitely
yeah,
can
y'all can
call
call
in.
in
We
on the
can
live.
really
Let's
get it
get it lit in
popping.
here.
We can really get it popping up in here.
Let's go crazy.
All right, y'all. Well, until next time,
Until next time.
And
don't get canceled.
Right. Don't say nothing online that's gonna get you canceled because we will be watching and we will call you out.
absolutely, you know how we do.
Come on, clap.
Okay.
Oh, y'all gotta press the end.